What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode 87 of Park to Prem here with Town Town. Today, folks, it's the end of the season. 3 matches coming your way live, everything on the line. Yesterday was a double upload. If you missed the episodes, how can I tease these? The first episode, we rejected a £35 million bid. The second episode perhaps had the best result we've ever had at Towlaw. I think that's fair. You guys can let me know if that's a fair description if you've watched those videos. If that doesn't sell you to go back and watch those, nothing is going to. Today, the championship season concludes. We have 3 games, as I already mentioned. We start on the profile of Shvetsov, who is now a Russian international, which I absolutely love. Great to see him playing for the national team. And, well, what's not so great to see is this recent form. What the hell has happened here? Yes, it's been a bit of a mixed bag since you were last here, folks, and well, let's just get into these, shall we? We've played 4 matches and only 2 wins. And, well, you know, if you watched last episode when we left things, it was all very much on a knife's edge. So, against Sheffield Wednesday, a 3-1 defeat. And in this game, we started off superbly. You know, James Molyneux gets a goal in the first half, and it's 1-0 at half-time. I'm sat there chilling out and relaxing, thinking, this ain't that bad. You know, this is pretty good. I'm happy. No, second half, complete collapse. Smolyo with a calamity. I don't know what happened. You've already seen it by now. The ball seemed to teleport into the back of the goal. He may have stepped over his own line. Either way, that was a disaster. And the second goal they scored, not a whole lot better, unfortunately. Just a throw-in that was given by Hugo straight to them. They broke through and Kamara scored. And then Luke Gouda, our former player, as we went desperately on the attack to try and get a result and get a draw, which at the time would have been a decent, point to get. Our former player Gouda scored against us. A header from a corner. He's played for them a few times. He's never scored for them in the league before that game, in the championship at least. Obviously left us a few years ago now, de Gouda. He's not developed as much as I perhaps expected he might, but it was heartbreaking to see him score against us nevertheless. Anyway, the next game, another 3-1, this time against Nottingham Forest, and in this game, a slightly different story. We went down very early on. Darren Dixon, getting a goal for them in the 4th minute. Shuttleworth then with a superb free kick in the 22nd minute meant at half-time it was 1-1. And then, well, we conceded 2, unfortunately. In this run of games, defensively, we've had to rotate things a lot. We've had a lot of suspensions going on, a lot of players accumulating yellow cards. In this game, it was Ignatovic and Jimmy Morrison at centre-back. And Ignatovic got sent off in this game for elbowing a player. Yes, he truly lost his head, did Vasily Ignatovic. And, well, he's obviously suspended for that straight red, and players are still suspended for their accumulations of yellow cards. So we do even have a makeshift appearance in today's episode, at least to start things, although in a few games' time we should be back to normal. Anyway, we then took on Huddersfield, where finally we got a win, and it was in fact another 3-1. So 3 of the same result in a row. A few weird goals in this one. Shvetsov, was it a cross? Was it a shot? I don't know. I don't care. It crossed the line. James Molyneux then with a superb solo effort, skipped around his man and hit it home from range into the top corner. Thomas Gillespie got them back into the game just after half-time, and given our recent form to suddenly have the lead cut in half, I was panicking. I didn't need to panic though. Shvetsov turned up with a goal in the 63rd minute, continuing on with his fine goal-scoring form. And that's how the game finished, 3-1. And you might think, well, 1 win in 3, Jack, that's not very good. I completely agree, and normally it wouldn't be enough, but Bristol City, they've bottled it, folks. They have not scored in their last 4 games. In fact, you can see here they had a run of 3 games where they didn't score back in February. They've completely fallen off the face of the earth. They currently sit in 4th, and Crystal Palace, the team we annihilated last episode, are now the team in 3rd. Yes, things have changed quite quickly. You can see here Crystal Palace did get a last-minute goal against Bristol City when they met head-to-head. Juan Hernandez with it. And then most recently, they got annihilated 3-0 by Birmingham in a game that wasn't even close. And, well, if we just look at the league table here, you can see how things lie. We are 4 points ahead of Crystal Palace and Bristol City with 3 games remaining. So, if the right results go our way, we can have this wrapped up very, very early. I feel like that's probably not going to be the case, but one can dream. We have most recently taken on Wigan, and we got a 2-0 result there. Shvetsov again with a brace. Today we are playing Preston in 16th, Reading in 21st, and the last game of the season is against Burnley, who are top of the league, away from home. I do not like the fact that we have to take on Burnley here. We are in a position now where we control our own fate. We can afford to slip up once. You know, that is now actually a thing. We can afford to balls it up once. I'm a little bit scared because Preston actually, you can see here, James Trafford for them has 16 clean sheets. They do not concede many to Preston. And when we've met them on previous occasions, we've struggled. We lost to them 2-0 and 1-0 when we've met them earlier on in the year. One of those games in the Cup. And as I mentioned, defensively, things are a little bit problematic at the moment. Williamson is suspended. Ignatovic is suspended. We brought in Subaran at the start of the year to be a backup centre-back, and I loaned him out in January thinking, well, we're not having any issues, we're going to be fine. We've had issues, folks, because we had both Williamson and Ignatovic suspended and Hugo suspended last time he played. Mr. Dessa had to play centre-back last game. Now, he kept a clean sheet, so he did his job, but I don't really want to have to play him at centre-back if I can avoid it. So you can see for this game, we're going to have Morrison at left centre-back, a player who has developed a lot, but really isn't. I want to say he's not first-team ready. That's perhaps a little bit harsh on him. You can see the staff do think he's a championship-quality player. I'm just not sure he's entirely in the same ballpark as Williamson. If we just compare the two, I guess they're not worlds apart, but I just like the aerial ability that Williamson has. I think that's what it ultimately boils down to, but I mean, he's not a huge downgrade, actually, when you look at it, but he's not my favoured choice, I guess is what I'm trying to say here. He's a little unproven, although he's done okay so far this year in his last 5 games when we've called upon him. So this is the team for the first game of today's episode. Besides the suspensions at the back, we're kind of at full strength, which is nice. In terms of centre-back options on the bench, because of all the suspensions, Adam Doherty, who we signed at the start of the year as a freebie from Arsenal, is going to be in the first team. Yes, he's been playing for the reserves. He's definitely a right back. He's not a centre back, but if we really do get desperate, he can come into the team and do a job at centre back, perhaps. Although with 9 jumping reach, I mean, maybe he can make it up with his bravery, but he's not tall and he's not particularly imposing physically. Ideally, we don't get a sending off for an injury at centre back to start today's episode. That's kind of the long and short of it. But anyway, this is the team we're going to go with. Smoljo in goal, Rice, Morrison, Hugo and Mr. Dessa on the back, Sacco and Andre Dezell playing in the centre of the midfield. The usual suspects really. Kosic out on the left, Shuttleworth out on the right, and it's going to be Shvetsov and Molineux up top. And you can see here, Shvetsov has surpassed Molineux as our top goal scorer. Yeah, they've been really fighting it out this year. Molineux started off superbly and Shvetsov has forever been playing catch-up, but in his last few games Shvetsov has continued scoring, and whilst Molineux has got a taste for the goals again after a long dry spell, he's not quite keeping up with the young Russian right now. So I haven't really acknowledged it in this episode yet, but we find ourselves 4 points clear with 3 games remaining. We absolutely should be getting automatic promotion here, which if you told me at the start of the year, I wouldn't have believed was possible. But I guess when you look at some of the results we've had, particularly in live comms, we kind of are worthy of this spot. I feel like the fact that we beat Crystal Palace like we did last time out shows that we are a good team. But I can't afford to take anything for granted. It's a bizarre situation where I will be annoyed if we don't get automatic promotion, but it might end up being a bullet dodged because, to be honest with you, we're not Premier League ready, and if we do go up, youth development might suffer a little bit because I'm going to have to sign a number of first-team players. I have no idea how much money we're even going to be given to spend if we were to get promoted this year. I don't know how to feel. Obviously, I want to get promoted, but I won't be as gutted as I might be if we don't. But given our circumstances, we should be winning this game and should be winning in promotion this episode. In half an hour's time, we should be celebrating as Kosic has an effort from range. Just wide of the post. You can see I've got the results up at the bottom. I have been keeping an eye on them. We've been at that kind of squeaky bum time where I'm constantly checking results now for the last few games. You can see Bristol City taking the lead in their game. So they've scored for the first time in 4 matches. Of course, a win for them and a loss for us here, or even a draw for us here, would see them close the gap to 1 or 2 points. And that's not comfortable when we know we've got Burnley to end the year. We need to really just win our first 2 matches of this episode. That's the ideal scenario, because Burnley, yes, we beat them before. They're tricky. They're top of the league for a reason. They're already promoted, though. So maybe they'll just be on the beach. I don't know. We control our own fate. We need to get results, and we also need to defend well as the ball's played forward. Andre Dezell launches it to Shvetsov. What can you do, Andre? Tries to tuck it in. Trafford had that covered all the way to the bank and back at the near post. How are Crystal Palace getting on? They are still drawing, but Bristol City still winning by 1. Ball crossed in by Shuttleworth. And he's going to go all the way back to race here. 0-0 at the break. Boys, I'm far from pleased. What are we doing? What are we doing? We score goals for fun. I mean, Preston don't concede goals for fun, but they are right at the bottom of the table. Not literally right at the bottom, but they are lower end of the championship table. You know, low mid-table, if you're being generous. So they don't score many, but they're very good at shutting teams out, and they've done that so far in this game. We're going to make some changes. I'm going to do something controversial. We did it a few episodes ago. May have even been last episode. I'm going to play Shvetsov out on the left and bring in Dylan Turnbull to play as a striker for us. Kosic has not turned up, one of our big performers. Palace are now losing. Oh my gosh. A win here would really be huge for us. I'm tempted to go on very attacking. I'm going to wait for this highlight to play out first though. Shuttleworth. They're now drawing, so let's throw that out the window for now. Andre Dizelle whips in. Turnbull on off the bench. Looping header over the keeper. I was about to say that's only his 13th goal of the year, which might sound really harsh, but at the start of the year I really had Turnbull and Shvetsov kind of neck and neck. Obviously, the way the season's played out, that's not been the case. But nevertheless, he's turned up with a goal on off the bench. And of course, it was Andre Dizelle to ping the ball into the middle. Lovely little header over the arm of the keeper there and into the top corner. Very, very good from us there. I would love us to get a second now to ease the nerves. Conceding here in the 83rd minute wouldn't be anything short of a disaster. Shuttleworth with it. Switches the play to Collie Sacco, who spreads it to Turnbull. Dylan, could you score another? Can you score another? You can't. This is... Oh, I hope we don't live to regret it. I hope we don't live to regret it, but I'm already feeling a bit of regret here. You can see Bristol City have now gone a second goal ahead in their game as Dizelle whips it back post to nobody. Everyone misses it. Turnbull keeps it alive, but it is lumped clear. I mean, 1-0 would be fine. I would love to get a second goal just to help me relax. Morrison. Wide to Hugo. The two centre-backs linking up. I don't know how to feel about that in the 89th minute. Would almost rather they'd stayed back. Are they going to be able to work it between them? Morrison switches it over to Shuttleworth. Now with Kitty. Is that his name, Kitty? I don't know if I misread that. I's and L's are difficult to differentiate. Anyway, Mr. Dessa with it. Where are you going to go, Mr. Dessa? That's the ball I wanted to see in truth. Just no nonsense, get it out. And now Molyneux, use your pace, tackled, Shvetsov, hit it, finds the bottom corner with his 29th of the year. Superb little finish. This game is done. It's one win left for us. That's all we need to get promoted. One more win, one more result to find ourselves, well, in contention. In contention, no, not in contention at all. In the Premier League. That's what we need. Oh, I'm losing my head, folks. I can't get the right words out. Right, 2-0. We'll take it. Didn't use many subs in that game, but didn't need to. The subs that we made a difference. Shvetsov got a goal from out on the left, and Turnbull came off the bench to get our first. We have already, by the way, secured a playoff spot, so we kind of already knew that was in the bag. And now we have to go forward. 2 weeks to Reading. I'm not going to sit around here because that's going to be a lot of mashing of continue. I'm going to skip forward. I was thinking about doing this live, but 2 weeks is too long. I'm going to mash continue. I'll be back in however long it takes. We're going to get into this game. I'm excited. Okay guys, so we've gone forward through the international break. The reason I've done that off camera is just it takes quite a while at the moment. The save game has started to slow down. We're now almost 10 years into the save game. And I have still got quite a lot of leagues loaded. You can see I'd already planned to remove the regional Premier Division. I might have to remove the Vanarama National North and South just to help with loading times because it is just getting a bit painfully slowly. Painfully slow, not painfully slowly. With all the leagues loaded, and I didn't think you wanted to see me mash continue, basically, for 2 weeks. That's not particularly entertaining. Anyway, today we have a game against Reading. Worth noting that with that most recent result and Crystal Palace actually slipping up in the end, we are in a situation here where we could win we could win promotion after this game, but worth noting, Bristol City actually play after us. So we play Reading, not really knowing exactly what's happening. A win here, and we're up. If we lose here, we're looking at that result and praying and knowing that we're going into the final game of the year against Burnley needing a result. Anyway, the good news is international breaks come and gone and no further injuries to speak of, which is nice. You can see Williamson is back fit as well. So Adam Doherty didn't actually ever make an appearance for the first team. I feel a bit sorry for him, but he's going to have to make way. We're going to bring in Williamson at centre-back to play alongside Hugo. And with that, we're pretty much down to full strength, which is absolutely superb news for us. Hopefully we can get the win here. This is the win for promotion. That is not a sentence I thought I'd utter at the start of the season, but that's kind of where we're at now. We've had an emphatic season. We need 5 goals in our last 2 games, by the way, to equal the championship record for goals in a season of 122. I would love to do that. I would love to beat that record. That's definitely got to be an aim here. Although 6 goals to be the outright winners does feel like a little bit of a long shot at this point. Anyway, as I said, Bristol City not playing, Crystal Palace all but mathematically out of it. They would need a 25-goal swing, so I'm just going to close this. We don't need to worry about them. We'd have to lose our remaining 2 games, and they need to overcome a 25-goal deficit, which I don't intend on happening, really. So yeah, Bristol City, the last frontier, really. And of course, as I said, they can't really do anything to stop us if we can get a result here. I have no idea what I'm going to do if we get promoted. I've not even really thought about it much. I mean, I've given it some thought. I've kind of thought about the what if and hypotheticals, but it's going to be a very difficult year. Anyway, let's focus on this year. It's not done yet, Jack. Molyneux back to Shuttleworth, who hits it off the woodwork. Shvetsov can't get there for the rebound. A draw, by the way, not good enough if Bristol City do get a win. That is still a bit of an if, of course. Anyway, Mr. Dessert inside to Hugo. I mean, Palace, they're desperate to make that 25-goal deficit swing. It's mad to think, actually, about the fact we beat them 7-1, because it would have maybe been mathematically possible if not for that result. Anyway, we're working the ball around the back here nicely. Now all the way back to Shuttleworth, who keeps it in, just about. Going on his merry way. Plays it forward. Molyneux, can you get there? He goes round the defender. On his lonesome. Can he squeeze it in? It's parried away. Shvetsov made no real attempt to get into the box there. It may be a little bit of laziness from the Russian. Is that an unfair analysis of exactly what's gone on there? It looked like he didn't really care to get in the box. Anyway, it's 0-0 here. I'm going to get shouty. And before I can even get my shoutiness out of me, a highlight begins. Maybe the players knew it was coming. Kosic, all on his lonesome. Finished that! Oh my word, what a save by Johnson. Was actually an incredible effort by Kosic as well. I was half expecting after that big run from just to smash it over the crossbar, but no. Goalwards, and the ball bouncing in the box. Sacco's header wide of the post. We're knocking on the door. We're trying to get it in. We're trying to get that goal that we need. And they're just not answering right now, Reading. They're holding the door shut tight. Give us an axe. We need an axe to break down this door. That's an image. Anyway, I've been watching too much The Shining, clearly. Rise, what can you do? Can you get it forward? Williamson, down wide to Kosic. Number 7, can he skip inside? He can. I mean, that's the shot I expected from the previous highlight where he ran through. That is absolutely shocking by him. And at the break, it remains 0-0. I'm far from pleased. What are we doing? Just as a reminder, if we lose this game and Bristol City do win, it's a problem because we have Burnley to play to end the year. So for all this talk of possible promotion, it's not done yet. We really have to hold our nerve in this game. Mr. Dessert, Hugo. Thought for a second he was going to give the ball away unnecessarily. Dazelle to Molyneux. Through on goal. Can he tuck it away? He can't. He kicks it straight at the keeper. Oh, that was a great opportunity. We might not get chances better than that. And now Reading on the attack. At what point do I bring in Turnbull like we had to last game to be the difference maker? One effort blocked. McBurney hits it. Oh my word. That is not wide of the post. Kosic just had another poor game. I'm going to make the exact same change we did before. Going to bring in Turnbull. Going to move Shvetsov out onto the left. And I'm going to get shouty with only an hour gone. Reading very much in this game. We've had the better of the chances, but we have not looked clinical today. Maybe Turnbull can change the tide for us and show us what we've been missing out on. Raise. All the way back to Williamson. And now he goes all the way back to Smolgo. I mean, there's plenty of time left. We don't need to panic just yet. Of course, if they score, then panic we're allowed to do. Molyneux takes it. Tight angle. Can he score it? No, I didn't really ever expect him to score from there either. And now Reading with a highlight. Oh my word, it never stops. Mer with it. Mr. Dessert lumps it forward. Molyneux to Turnbull. Can he knock it past his man? Can he use his pace? Dylan Turnbull Denied by Johnson, again in goal for them. He is making some big, big saves. We can be lethal from set pieces, but I've not got much expectation. Tolly Sacco over the bar. My word, if we don't win this, we've had the chances to win this. They now have a set piece. Doyle whips it in, headed away. Oh my God, what is that goal? Mitchell has scored an absolute screamer for them on the volley. I'm now praying that Bristol City lose their game. That's all I can really hope for. I mean, it's not all we can hope for. We can change stuff here, but if it goes down to the game against Burnley, I do not favour us. I do not back us in that situation. I'm going to take off Sacco for Blesser, and you know what? I'm going to bring in Gerardo Bravo. His only appearance for the club was that appearance on off the bench against Bristol City way back when. I've struggled to justify bringing him on in any other game. Maybe this is his game. You know, so often our strikers are in form and I feel like I can't take them off. They've not been good today. Let's give him a chance to shine. He scored on his debut on off the bench. Maybe he can have a similar performance today. Ball lumped forward. I mean, if they score another, we're in full-blown panic mode, everyone. Mitchell down this right-hand side. Reyes lumps it clear to Turnbull. Dylan Turnbull turns his man. A 2-on-1 here. If they play it smartly, this could be a good chance. Turnbull, save. Second effort blocked. It goes out for a corner. Look at the clear-cut chances. Oh, how have we not scored? Dazelle whips in. Shvetsov can't win the header. Shutterworth. Where are you going to go? You're going to run straight into Doyle and give the ball away, and that's probably the end of the chance. I mean, just end the highlight game, please. End the highlight. If they score now, I may cry. Good tackle by Mr. Dessa. Don't give away a penalty. Don't do it. It's crossed in, back post. Mitchell's there. He scored again. He scored again. We've had the chances in this game. This is just a fixture where we've just not turned up in the final third, and that's not really happened this year. We have prided ourselves on our firepower. Murr whips it back post. Mitchell with the header. Smoljo can't quite get a hand to it. Reading 2-0 up. And we need a mini miracle. I've used all my subs. There's not a great deal I can do to change things here. It's just a case of let's just get everyone further up the pitch, basically. Everyone on attacking. In terms of in possession, more direct and higher tempo. In terms of out of possession, I mean, we're already pressing very, very hard. In transition, over the defence, just get it out as quickly as we can and counter press. That's another, I think, really important thing for us here is we have to get the ball forward quickly when we can. We are now leaving ourselves completely open at the back. I am very aware of that. We need to roll the dice. We need, 2 or 3 goals realistically. Oh my God, if they score that, I just go away and cry. They've hit the woodwork. It's just not going to happen for us here. It's just not going to happen. 4 minutes of added time. The faith's gone. We're going to lose this game 2-0. Oh, who are Bristol City playing? That was the game to get promoted. We now have to play Burnley, who are top of the league. Reading avoid relegation with that result. Oh, please, 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 please. Bristol City. I could attend the game. I could watch the game in full. I'm not going to do that because that would make the video far too long. Sheffield Wednesday. Gouda. Please win. It's a draw. It's a draw, and it's not mathematically done, but I think we're promoted because there is no way that either team is swinging that goal difference around. Oh my word. I mean, it's an anti-climax and a half because promotion isn't official yet. We've still got to play the last game of the year. But it's done. It is absolutely done. We are not throwing away a 20-goal swing. Get the promotion party underway. We can enjoy it whilst I just mash continue. The worst thing is that I was always going to do the last game of the year against Burnley on camera because I thought it'd be an interesting game against the team top of the league. But here's the thing. I would have loved to right now be telling you, here's how we're going to spend our transfer budget. This is what I think we need to do in the Premier League. I don't know how much money we're going to have to spend. I don't know what we're going to be able to even do. I don't know what the board expectations are going to be or anything. Oh my god, we've got promoted. It's such a weird way to get promoted. I don't know exactly how to feel right now as we sit here. We completely fluffed our lines against Reading. But God bless Sheffield Wednesday. I didn't look at how the game actually played out between Sheffield Wednesday and Bristol City. Let's just have a quick look at it, shall we? It finished 0-0. I want to be able to claim that we can praise Gouda or something, but Gouda didn't even play. I mean, I'm glad we didn't attend that game now, because that would have been a very boring match to watch, wouldn't it? Praying for the 0-0. I mean, Dazzelli's tipped to win Championship Player of the Year. I'm kind of inclined to agree. I love the fact that all the players he's likely to match up against are our own players. Because our peaks have been so high, our players' average ratings, I imagine, are quite a bit higher than Burnley's, which means that we could really dominate a lot of the league awards, which would be very cool. I feel like half of our team's probably in the running for Young Player of the Year. Dylan Turnbull can't play the last game of the year. It's a disaster. Completely forgot to talk about it, by the way. We did have our youth intake between last episode and this episode. Do you want to know what happened in it? We got absolute potatoes. And not good potatoes, like bad potatoes. If we just look at training performances. Here's the intake. I mean, that gives you a rough idea of how good they were. There were a few okay players, to be fair. I think Andy Hoyle was perhaps the pick of the bunch. Great passing, absolutely awful vision. I don't know what to train him as, but yeah, he was the pick of the bunch, and that's kind of gives you a rough idea of how things are looking for us. It was not, by our own kind of metrics, not a good youth intake. No one quite as good as Matasevic this year, unfortunately. Oh my word. We've got promoted to the Premier League. I have no idea how we're going to manage. Of course, tomorrow we will do a bit of an end-of-season review, and I think a lot of that episode, to be honest, will be dominated by us trying to work out what the hell the plan is for next year, as opposed to a look back on this year, which might feel a little odd, but that's the way it has to be, I feel like. Colorado Rapids are randomly bidding on Collie Sacco. They've offered £3 million for him. I've rejected it. Just as a reminder, we brought him in for £500,000. He's really done the business over the 2 years he's been here. Last year he had a slow start, but this year in the Championship, he's played all but 5 games this year. Or at least that's what the case will be after this last game of the season against Burnley. He really has, alongside Andre Dazelle, just become, a core part of our team. He is, unfortunately, probably one of the players most likely to be in the firing line. Apparently I can do a team meeting to encourage players about the fact that promotion is still at stake. I want to check for my own sanity. I'm pretty sure the kind of separator is goal difference. I'm 99.99999 sure that the separation rule is goal difference. It's going to be somewhere here. Where is it hidden? The other thing worth noting is we don't fulfill the new stadium. Our new stadium does not fill the minimum requirements for a Premier League ground, which is going to be interesting. So yeah, goal difference is the difference maker. And our goal difference is 20 better than Crystal Palace. That could have been 8 if it hadn't been for the result that we had against them. Andre Dazelle's out for the last game of the year. I think he's played every game of the year, so it's pretty typical that in the last match he's denied. One thing that's also worth noting, you might have just caught it in the calendar, our youth team, our under-23s, are in the Premier League Cup final. That is an incredible achievement. Like, they deserve big credit for that. In terms of our under-23s team, they're top of their league. I think we get promoted technically by winning this, but you can see they've run outright victors very, very comfortably. And our under-18s, they're top of their league as well, and they are going to get promoted. I think there's promotion in these leagues. I'm going to be honest, I don't know a great deal about how lower league youth squads work, but I guess it's how the English youth pyramid works. Is it tied to what league the main team are in, or is there promotion between the junior teams? I'm not entirely sure. That's a weird gap in my knowledge that I would feel like I should know. Anyway, Andre Dazelle is unavailable. He has played how many games for us? He's played 44 games and made 1 sub-appearance this year. He's only missed 1 league game prior to this one, but unfortunately he's not available, so Alex Blesser's going to come in. I guess we'll put Ignatovic back on the bench and forgive him for his previous shenanigans. I've just realised we don't have Smoljo next year for certain. I might have to try and buy him if we have the right amount of money. That feels a little impossible. Anyway, we'll see how Blesser gets on at deep line playmaker. We brought him in to be competition for Andre Dazelle, but with how Dazelle performed this year, he just never really got a chance. So we are already promoted, barring us losing this game 10-0 and Crystal Palace winning 10-0. So let's just enjoy this. We're taking on Burnley. They're top of the league. Let's try and get a result, shall we? And well, an early goal would be nice. And there it is. Shvetsov with his 30th of the year. What a player. What a player. Molyneux with the assist. Shvetsov just leaping like a salmon in the middle. Nods it past the keeper. Not the best camera angle, Football Manager. Whoever's operating this camera behind the goal, don't give them a pay rise. Maybe replace them for FM21. But yes, an early goal, and, well, I want to be like, that steadies the nerves. I want to act like there's loads of drama here as to, ooh, will we or won't we win the league? There's no drama. It's a promotion party at Turf Moor. Of course, we're going to celebrate the fact it's Smoljo's last ever game. That is definitely worth just kind of taking note of and, acknowledging. Hopefully we can bring him back on loan. I don't think Watford are going to loan him to a team in a rival league. Turner inside. Don't let him get the shot away. Smoljo again, you beautiful big Croatian man. I'm going to miss him. I would love to buy him back. I haven't actually checked the Premier League to see if Watford could get relegated. He saved another. I want to check quickly. I want to check. We're going to go via Shvetsov's profile. I'm playing the Wikipedia game, but in Football Manager. No, they're not getting relegated, everyone. You can see, actually, the teams being relegated is somewhat undecided right now, although it looks like it could be Wolves, Fulham and Blackburn. We'll maybe have to look at their squads next episode and over the summer for sure, for possible signings. Anyway, Hugo here, going all the way back to Smoljo at the back. He gives it to Mr. Dessa. Wonder how many passes Mr. Dessa and Smoljo have between them at club and national level, because they've kind of just grown old together. They've got this, weird relationship. They've been part of the same generation of Towlaw, and, well, they may never get to play in the Premier League together. I will hope that that's not the case and we can sign Smoljo, but it feels a little far off right now. Anyway, Ray's at left back to Williamson. He switches it over to Shuttleworth. Now with Alex Blesser, he's going to play it out onto the right-hand side for Mr. Dessa, who plays it first time. What a lovely move. And Shuttleworth hits the woodwork. I think his pass there was deflected onto the woodwork. The build-up play there, though, really, really nice. I would love to beat Burnley just to end the year. That would be the cherry on top of an incredible season, to know that we did the double over one of the teams being promoted up to the Premier League with us. Because, of course, we did beat them very convincingly last time we met. Walker-Peters whips it in. Pearce, oh my word, what a thunderous header by Sean Pearce. In off the underside the crossbar. He celebrates with glee, and you know what? I'd probably celebrate that goal with a roly-poly too. That was a lovely, lovely goal. Kyle Walker-Peters playing in the Championship. A little bit of a surprise to see that, perhaps. Whips it in. Pearce, and yeah, Smoljo cannot take the blame for that one. I know there's the Smoljo haters out there. I know you're looking at that going, typical Smoljo, rubbish. You're wrong. He's a beautiful, beautiful man, and he's very, very good for us. Anyway, 1-1 at the break. We scored in the first minute, and then we didn't really capitalise on it, did we? We kind of sat and were quite happy with ourselves. Crystal Palace, by the way, doing their best to overcome the goal deficit, but it's not looking particularly likely with just 30 minutes left of this game. I'm going to make a sub. I'm going to bring in Bravo for Molyneux. And Kosic has not played well this episode. He's got a little bit camera shy to end the year. I'm going to bring in Diawara for Collie Sacco. I've got this weird feeling that there's a few players that you see on the pitch here that might not be with us next year. Or certainly won't be in the first team. A player like Diawara, there's just no way he's Premier League quality. He's like marginal Championship quality. He's been our backup throughout this year, and because we've not had injuries, it's not been a massive concern to play him. But it's tricky, isn't it? It really is tricky. I feel like the one good thing that we've got going for us here is that with promotion, I don't need to worry about a striker. Well, obviously we don't have a proven Premier League goal scorer, but I feel like we have 4 or 5 fantastic strikers that we don't need to worry about. I say that in a game where we had 1 goal and 1 chance right at the start and then did nothing else. Ultimately, it finishes 1-1. We are going to be promoted with that. What a performance. We ended up finishing just 1 point ahead of Crystal Palace and Bristol City. Of course, goal difference was always in our favour. And There you go. Shvetsov got man of the match. We are promoted. What a crazy, crazy season. I feel like we deserved it. I really do. You can see here the board have set the wage budget at £600,000 and a transfer budget of 27 million. That seems like crazy, crazy money. I'm very, very aware. However, we're playing in the Premier League and that money is barely going to cover one or two top quality players. You can see here Taulaw rejoice in promotion success. Unbelievable promotion. Hugo's loving it too. I love you too, Hugo. Man, it feels weird, right? Because we kind of knew it was done before the Burnley game. And the fact that we did it in a way where it wasn't really our performance that got us promoted. It was watching Bristol City draw 0-0 that got us promoted. It feels anticlimactic. You can see here that Liverpool beat Taulaw 2-0 in the final. Oh, I mean, it's a little bit sad to see. But you know what? To get to the Premier League Cup final, that bodes well for the future. Unfortunately, Dunkler tore his hammy in that game. That's a disaster and a half, isn't it? That's sad. Anyway, promotion glory is achieved, everyone. That's not something I thought I was going to utter to start this year. As I said, tomorrow will be the end of season review, but we'll also double it up as a bit of a preview to next year. You can see Shvetsov ended up top goal scorer, Shuttleworth and Andre Dazelle, the top two assisters in the league. I mean, that really speaks volumes to where our strengths were, doesn't it? The fact that we had the top goal scorer and the third top goal scorer and the two players with the most assists. The average ratings as well, I imagine, are dominated by us. In fact, yeah, you can see it here. The top 5 players, all our own. You love to see it. And Mr. Dessa, just poking his head up there. Fair play to him. Man, what a crazy year. The Premier League is going to be tough. I'm hoping that the board expectation is going to be just to fight bravely against relegation and that if we do get relegated, it's not going to be the end of the world. One thing is for certain, next year is going to be the toughest season we've ever had at Taulaw. I'm very excited for it. We'll be previewing it all tomorrow. And well, I want to just thank you to all of you for watching this crazy, crazy adventure. I can't quite believe we are where we are right now after 10 years. Crazy, crazy achievement. It's only going to get tougher. And I kind of relish the challenge. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for watching. It's me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.